What's your aim at the beginning of every
To be happy week in, week out.
It's the win a trophy, isn't it?
English culture has never had these ultras because it's just...
But would you not benefit from ultras at City? We've had some of the best players in world football in history, and we didn't get anywhere near where Gareth Southgate was getting.
At the beginning of every Premier League season, what's your aim?
To do what we can.
What is that?
I don't know, I'm not Mikel Arteta, I want to hear your thoughts.
No, what's your aim? What's your aim at the beginning of every season?
To be happy week in, week out.
It's to win a trophy, isn't it?
It's to be happy week in,
At the
week
end
out.
of that season, your aim is to win a trophy.
Sorry, I just heard someone that's, you know, I'm trying to listen to him. You won a trophy, we get it. Calm down, the whole day you've been doing this, relax.
But that's your aim, every single season. Your aim, as Arsenal Football Club, a big football club,
I don't know, man, you'd have to speak to Mikel Arteta. I'm just happy to see
win a
my
trophy.
team.
If you fail to do that, then you have failed to reach your goal. So if you go and win the Carabao Cup, yes, it's only the Carabao Cup, but it's a trophy at the end of the day. And let's be honest here, Carabao Cup, that'll get you into the Conference League. Now that is a European competition, you may have a chance of actually winning. So that could be 2 trophies right there as well. Get you into the Europa League, then you can work your way back up to the Champions League maybe, I don't know. But I just feel like winning a trophy is much better than just finishing top 4 every single season, because at the end of the day, in 100 years' time, who's going to remember you finishing top 4 every single
Who's going to remember a League Cup win?
It's in the history books.
Unless, respectfully, he hasn't shut up about he's dying happy, man.
It's in the history books.
Please.
To
be fair, they've won a bit more than that, but...
I bet Southgate still remembers Stanley Cup win a few years ago.
2008, still remember it, Ledley King.
I hear your point. As a fan, I understand that I want to win silverware, but you mentioned my football club and the objectives. Of course, we have failed to win Prems and Champions Leagues. I very much doubt the League Cup is on the top of the priority list. I don't know about you lot's owners, I know about mine, and I know how the Cronkies operate. That is Champions League football, season in, season out. That's something that's kept Mikel Arteta's job, that's something that kept Wenger's job. So while I hear it and I understand it, if you were to ask me, because you mentioned it about Arsenal, the board would pick the top 4 over the League Cup any day of the week.
But as a fan...
Please, I just prefer to see my fans happy. If that's winning an FA Cup, if that's whatever it is. There's many ways to define happiness. Some football fans waffle about top 4.
I actually can't believe this, people. He's talking about top 4 over trophies. This is the same Arsenal Football Club that's remembered for the invincible season. Same thing. He literally said they won a trophy.
Because you keep talking about us week in, week out. You've won a trophy after 7 years. All you do is waffle.
In our best eras, I'm thinking what gave me the most joy. Nothing will beat the dopamine of lifting any kind of trophy. I don't care what it is.
The last trophy that Sheffield Wednesday won was the League Cup in 1991. I have a huge affinity with the League Cup. It's something that I absolutely love, and I think it's a competition that's got legs. However, the Crystal Palace fan that relegated us in 2010 brought up that they've won a trophy again, so I come over this side.
Look, I like City, but you could do with some of our fans. So City fan being in front of me talking about ultra culture versus traditional fans. Clearly, you would want to have Palace fans. When you look at all the tifos, you saw it in the FA Cup final, FA Cup semi-final. And I can speak from a Palace fan perspective in terms of if we don't have the ultras, the whole stadium, the atmosphere, it just collapses. So I think if more clubs did have ultras at their grounds, then the atmosphere would naturally improve.
Pushing it a bit farther, the whole concept of ultras and stuff's all European. It's all just like religious and political and stuff like that. A lot of the ultra culture comes from violence and
we're not violent.
Like, for example, I went to Belgrade with City and all the ultras just turned up at the pub and
but
just
that's a different country.
glass.
But that's a different country.
But that's what the
we got
English
ultras in this country and we've got it. But we've got it. We're not trying to be that. When have we smashed anywhere? Yeah, but Ashburn, that's embarrassing. Listen,
that's the culture of it though. That's the culture.
No, that's not the culture though. That's not the culture. The homes are fanatics. They give.
That's Palace, and that might be a slightly different variant.
They help the community. They build. They do tifos, and they are the key element in terms of the Selhurst atmosphere. Without the ultras at Selhurst Park, the whole atmosphere goes because it's happened before.
Culture, ultra culture, a lot of it is violence.
But then what does traditional fans benefit that normal ultra fans don't?
What would you define as a traditional fan
Just a normal fan that goes to the game. We've seen it even at Brighton.
That's
it's funny how Brighton is standing there. It's funny how Brighton standing there.
That's the history of this country though. English culture has never had these ultras because it's just...
But would you not benefit from ultras at City?
I don't want ultras. I don't want these guys pretending, oh, I've got a flare and I've got a plastic bag in front of me.
It's not flair though. It's not flair.
I've seen all that stuff.
It's also
got to do with the passion. Passion.
You can show passion.
Yeah, but you
don't show passion by getting on the coach or the train every week.
Fans.
You don't have to pretend. I don't get flair in a plastic bag and say I'm going to be part of the Ashburn Army.
Why do people talk about City fans being bad?
Turn up every week, get on the coach, get on the train, get on the plane, wherever it is to go to the game.
Why do City have a reputation?
I don't know. You don't blame me for that.
No, it's not you, but I'm talking about City in general. They're lacking.
No, it's not because we're so successful on the pitch.
To be honest, I completely agree, because they're not ultras. They're just men wearing black pyjamas, blurring their faces. Who's after you? No one's after you. You're just a man going to the football.
The one thing that puts me off, the one thing that gets me, is the cheerleader with the megaphone. We don't need him. We don't need that. Especially people from Croydon spelling out the word Eagles. I know how to spell Eagles.
Right now, the ultras are what bring the atmosphere to the stadium. They're the people that create the chants, the people that are getting the team up and ultimately boost that team. They're the 12th person on the pitch a lot of the time. And
I thought that Gareth Southgate, with the selection of players that he had at his disposal, should have done a lot better with what he had. You know, everybody's going to talk about it's the highest finishers we've had in all these tournaments and stuff like that. But we had Bellingham, we had Kane. You know, he was in charge for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like he should have done a lot better. We should have got somewhere, but I feel like we got somewhere, but there wasn't any development once we got to a certain level.
But that's what I'm saying. I think when you're talking underachieving, we've had underachieving managers, but we've had some of the best players in world football in history. And we didn't get anywhere near where Gareth Southgate was getting. So at least with the tools at his disposal, he got to the finals. You're saying that he didn't get over to that next step, but that is to win a World Cup, which we haven't done since '66.
I thought he was too reserved. I felt like playing with two defensive midfielders. You know,
was the golden generation better than quality than the players we've got now?
Yes.
So they're the underachievers.
We've had two golden generations.
They're the underachievers.
But because they were trash, because they underachieved, don't mean that Southgate didn't underachieve. You know what I mean? I feel like there's been underachievement at England level for the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
We should have won something in 2004, 2006, even maybe 2008.
But also like the quality of football. Like, I know we've had some like standout like Brazils and all that, but you still got the Spains, you still got the Italys, you still got all these teams that do end up beating the Gareth. He lost to Italy and Spain, who were the best in the tournament.
In the final,
Spain and Italy.
Team and Spain, two teams
that Italy team we should have beat in 2021. That Italy team, they absolutely housed us out of it with shirt grabbing.
No, 2006 is probably the era that we should have been going forward with. We were out in the quarters against a Portugal team that was nowhere near the level of where
I felt like going out on penalties to that Italy team, that aging Italy team. I felt personally embarrassed by that. I felt like we should have taken that to them and we should have won.
You're playing mentality monsters in Italy, a generational Spanish side where you saw Zubamendi play very well off the bench. I think we even had the semi-finals against France, also with generational talents. I know the football was negative, but in my 30 years, he's definitely overachieved with England.
Last year, you had a team with a number of City players in that had won a treble. They'd won 4 league titles in a row. Phil Foden was PFA Player of the Year.
He always finds a way to mention
And he couldn't get you out of him. That's
But is that his fault? We've looked at Foden to be the difference for about 3 tournaments now.
You had your time, mate. Come on. Phil Foden was the best player in the country last year, fact, before last season, 2 seasons ago, whatever you want to call it. And Southgate couldn't get a tune out of him. He didn't play Palmer enough. He didn't play Grealish enough. When Grealish was at Villa, everyone wanted him to play. He properly changed the game. He had an unbelievable squad of players. The defence was solid. We know that, but ultimately he had Harry Kane as well, one of the best goal scorers this country's ever seen. Foden, Bellingham, he didn't. He's not. You can say he did well in the tournaments, but he didn't win them.